Was Aleister Crowley a Satanist? It is not uncommon to read the name Aleister Crowley linked to Satanism or devil worship. Various statements made by Crowley, or attributed to him, are used as proof that he was the archetypal Satanist. This stance is taken by many Christians, and it is no surprise that many Satanists claim Crowley as one of their diabolic brethren. However, there are many occultists who reject the belief of Crowley the Satanist. Many of these occultists are Thelemites, followers of Crowley's magical system of Thelema. However, there are some satanic groups who also reject the idea of Crowley being a Satanist. Born Edward Alexander Crowley on the 12th of October 1875 in Warwickshire, England, he went on to become an influential member of several occult organizations, including the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and the Ordo Templi Orientis. He was a prolific writer who has had an undisputed impact on modern occultism, and in his time garnered a great deal of notoriety as the self-professed Great Beast of Revelations. Many of the people claiming that Crowley was a Satanist base their assumptions on literal interpretations of his writings. It is clear that some of Crowley's writings were extremely anti-Christian, and Crowley claimed that Friedrich Nietzsche, a vehement anti-Christian, could be considered one of the prophets of Thelema. In Libere Elvel Legis, Crowley's central holy book for Thelema, we find the lines 51, with my hawk's head I peck at the eyes of Jesus, as he hangs upon the cross. 52, I flap my wings in the face of Mohammed and blind him. 53, with my claws I tear out the flesh of the Indian and the Buddhist, Mongol and Din. 54, Balasti. Apida. I spit on your crapulous creeds. 55, let Mary inviolate be torn upon wheels, for her sake let all chaste women be utterly despised among you. To many Christians this is clearly satanic and highly offensive, as it is to Muslims and Buddhists also. However, to be anti-Christian doesn't make someone a Satanist per se, and doesn't indicate that the person identifies with the popular conceptions of Satanists. There are various apologists for Crowley's cruder writings and anti-Christian sentiments. In the Eye in the Triangle, Israel Regardi, a student of Crowley, suggested that anyone who says Crowley was a Satanist and a devil worshipper should have his head examined. Joyous Evola, in his book Mask and Face of Contemporary Spiritualism, suggested that it is however necessary to see that Crowley did not put Satan in the place of God, given the high regard in which he held traditions, like the Kabbalah, which venerated a divinity finally. The ostentatious Satanism of Crowley is explained only in terms of an antithesis to Christianity, whose doctrine condemned the senses and the integral achievement of man. However, in his case, with an initiatic and magical basis rather than naturalistic. The claim of Crowley as Satanist is exemplified by Crowley's literary executor and biographer, John Symonds, writing his book The Great Beast, that Crowley's philosophy takes a bit from here and a bit from there but he was more a Satanist than anything else. I serve my great master Satan, he wrote in one of his franker confessions, and that august council composed of Beelzebub, Lucifer, Asmodeus, Belphegor, Baal, Adramelech, Lilith and Nehema. Crowley wrote of being the servant of Satan, the devil, our Lord whose number of magic is 666, the seal of his servant the beast in his ritual for the attainment of knowledge and conversation of his holy guardian angel, Shaitan was. Kenneth Grant, another student of Crowley, wrote that this whole ritual is an invocation of Satan, or Set. It is easy to see how the great beast 666 gained the reputation as a Satanist and hardcore anti-Christian. Aleister Crowley died in a Hastings boarding house, the 1st of December 1947, aged 72. He was cremated in Brighton and his funeral service included the reading of Crowley's own poem, Hymn to Pan. Local newspapers called the service a black mass, furthering the great beast's image as a Satanist. The simple answer to the question of Aleister Crowley having been a Satanist is that there is no definitive answer. It is not possible to ask Crowley how he viewed himself, except perhaps antecedents, and even if he made one claim or another, it would be difficult to determine whether he simply wanted to create an image and reputation for himself or whether he genuinely upheld these views. Crowley was a complex figure, whose writings were often unclear or veiled in symbolism and metaphor. It is left up to the reader to decide how they choose to view Crowley, the man, the myth, the occultist.